rusty spoons. I like to touch them.
Y'all see that?
Wake up and something's strangling you, and it only stops when you use the name Jesus and then runs out the front doors.
Seriously, who the is that?
Help me.
My name is Jack. I'm a content creator too.
Help me.
And guess
I've created a dynamic portal where I can actually see myself.
And welcome back to the channel, food. Thanks for tapping in. Happy Tuesday, guys. We back with more creepy videos. So do me the biggest favor and hit and smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe button and join the family if you like videos like this.
Te voy a cantar una canción. Así. ¿Vas a caminar él? Ella que quiere que paz que será tu nombre, que declarar la posible que receda con lo que se casa que de ti. Apague, que se enseñe, en chino yo la le, porque me gustó la canción que me hizo Vicky. ¡Mua! Bye bye.
I broke a story that is literally nowhere on the internet. In fact, Google is telling people it's not true. We are having male cattle lactating at alarming rates at the time of slaughter. What is alarming rates? Well, we're talking about almost 20% for cattle that are beef and dairy crosses, and 14% on what's native, which would be an Angus or a Hereford, a just straight beef cow. So we're having so much hormones, so much estrogen getting into our cattle that they are lactating. Males are lactating. So are we eating transgender beef? Yes.
I like rusty spoons. I like to touch them.
Alright, so this light right here just cut on, right? Now mind you, these lights are on a timer and they come on at 8 o'clock. Look at the sun, y'all. It's not 8 o'clock. Now I came over here earlier, right? Tell me if y'all see. Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Alright, so this is what we're gonna do then. We're gonna go around the back. We're gonna go to the back of this house so that y'all can see that there ain't no tree, no nothing. Nothing casting a shadow here. Bro, am I tripping? Oh my. Bro. Bro. Are you kidding me? Oh!
What the hell?
Two girls go to a party, both of them play with a Ouija board, one leaves with a demon and one doesn't get it. Why would that be? One is under a curse of witchcraft and a demon has been with her, crouching at the door, waiting for the right of entry. The other one, under covenant parents in Christ, praying the blood of Jesus over them, they're under a blessing. There simply wasn't a demon to enter. The demon would have had a right because they gave it a right, but there just wasn't one in pursuit, so it wasn't with her. For a curse to take root, two things must have happened. A pre-existing action by an ancestor or an action that was done to an ancestor that released an assignment. Each subsequent generation must give a right of entry. I've had so many demons manifest in people. I'm like, why are you here in the name of Jesus? And then literally the demon goes, they never told me to leave.
What keeps me up at night is that you can't acknowledge abductees, thousands, possibly millions of us who've been taken against our will, and maintain their narrative of these are benevolent space brothers. So they will have to continue to try to silence us and keep us out of the picture, or their narrative will not work. That scares me for the people who have had to go through this and for how they're going to spin it.
And why didn't she slam that door on his hand? I would have kicked that door so hard.
Are you a Leo? Are you a Sagittarius? That has nothing to do with the Zodiac. Using it as an augur or as a device to commune with the gods and figure out what your destiny is. But the timepiece of the Zodiac itself also conveys the gospel of Christ, the 12 tribes of Israel.
You're just teasing everyone at this point.
So the Zodiac is not pagan and it's not ancillary to prophecy and all this stuff. It is central as it pertains to time. And, you know, the age of Christ, we talked about this last time, was the age of Pisces.
Yeah.
And it's very important. When you read in the Bible, in the New Testament, when they talk about the end of the age, they're talking about the end of an astrological age, 2,160 years, and the end of an aeon. That's the word that's used a lot, is an aeon. And the aeon is the combination of three astrological ages. It has a duration of 6,480 years. It's 3 houses on the Zodiac. And every time you complete an aeon, guess what happens?
Things
Cataclysm. Cataclysm. So guess what happens at the end of the age of Pisces? Read the book of Revelation. What do you see? Cataclysm. When the Lamb seated next to the Father on the throne is breaking the seals on the scroll. The earth is suffering cataclysm.
The pits opened up.
And why is cataclysm ensuing on earth? Because we're transitioning from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And this is the end of one aeon and the beginning of the next cataclysm. It transitions with cataclysm. So why does cataclysm happen like clockwork? Why were the ancients tracking it? It's very simple. Why were the ancients tracking this? Because they want to know when they should prepare for cataclysm. Nothing can be more important. When is civilization going to end? That's what the Zodiac. That's what the Zodiac tracks.
At your local Fred Meyer's, get your 3D printed meat. Go to the side. Look at the layers.
Dude, look at how stiff it is. It's like
3D printed meat.
They're detecting radio wave signals coming from deep within Antarctica, deeper than the continental level as well, almost from 60 miles below the continental surface. So like an inner Earth type of environment. Not only radio waves, which have not been deciphered, but also cosmic rays, which normally just strike onto the Earth, but in this case are emanating from deep within the ice as well. They're originally looking for the neutrinos, which can also pass through the Earth, but this one called Anita started picking up on these radio waves and the cosmic rays and just made the enigma even more mysterious as to where these might be coming from.
During an abduction, something weird happens and I would feel a change in the room and I could feel it before it happened. And then what would happen, it would feel like a very low vibrational hum. And then I would see the grays, and if I would shout or yell, no one would hear me and they wouldn't rouse or anything. And I would feel like my body was just made of almost like ball bearings. It just felt different. At that point, I think they are coming into our dimension with like this dimensional bubble almost. Like the only way to describe it is like a bubble. And then I would be encompassed in that bubble as well with them, with the grays.
I'm summoning you, Pennywise! Pennywise, come out!
I think it's time to...
If ever there was an argument that we do live amongst the fallen angels, then I suppose this would be it. Here we have Charlize Theron, and she's on the red carpet promoting the new movie Odyssey. They love the attention, they love to be idolized, they love to be worshipped, and here she is. She does seem to be struggling to hold her form. She is kind of morphing somewhat into Sharon Stone, and she kind of switches between the two if you look really closely and you know what you're looking for, and if you believe in this stuff. Otherwise you could just say, well, they just look alike. The interesting thing about Charlize Theron is that there is a movie that she is in, a really good film actually, called The Old Guard, and specifically The Old Guard, but the second film. In that film, she struggles really badly to hold her form. Uma Thurman is the other character in this film. I've managed to catch a glimpse of it, and you can see that the Charlize Theron character looks a hell of a lot like the Uma Thurman character. She also very much looks like Angelina Jolie in some parts of this film. And if you go back to old photographs and old footage and you know what you're looking for, look how much Angelina and Charlize Theron look alike. It's uncanny. Now you could just say, well, of that time they were looking for girls who all had that similar look because of the success of Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie in French, of course, being a play on words for pretty angel. Is this the same fallen angel playing a different character? Certainly looks like it to me.
I was back at Greer's place, and the same woman is standing there. And again, same thing, turns into this thing, except the difference was I could feel just hatred. I can't describe it other than to say I just felt like this thing, if it could murder me, it would. And then I looked over, and Greer was this dead body, and he said, oh, those are the warriors. The reason that occurred was because I was sharing the gospel, kind of on enemy territory.
If you wake up and something's strangling you, and it only stops when you use the name Jesus and then runs out the front door, some shadow thing,
yeah,
that's a horse of a different color.
And then he's getting confirmation from Greer that these are the warriors, he called them, that protect him.
Protect Greer from the gospel.
Right.
Are we dealing with a spiritual situation here with this whole alien and whatever the hell thing?
It's the Butch and Sundance Show.
Seriously, who the fuck is that? What the fuck?
Well, this is what we believe to be an interdimensional being. We use like heart coherence to really get the message out, and we invite this NHI UAP phenomenon in, and really try to geolocate our location using thought so we can walk them in. So right now you're looking at that light That's light that's being emitted from that console or craft. And if you look to the right of the light, all that stuff that's shaking, that's like the bubble that it's in. It's like outside of time and space, potentially. And actually behind the console, like so above the light, you can see an object. That's the head of this being, slightly hovering above the ground. I think from, I guess, the bottom of the console to the top of the head, you'd say maybe about 6 feet. But the rest of the bubble probably took up like a 10-foot spherical radius. So this is what we believe, well, I personally believe to be the mantis, at least the outline of its head.
And when you were filming this, could you see it, or is this all after the fact through the footage you can kind of make it out?
Well, you could see it in those moments where it collapsed the light.
Is that the dinosaur stuck in there? Let me know what you guys see.
What is the nature of the phenomena agenda-wise?
I had an interview of the fellow who was in Project Blue Book. That was one of their clerk typists who used to be the guy that typed up all their reports on these classified studies they were doing, and he was present for the actual interview of a UFO being. And one of the first questions I asked him was, "Who are you guys? Who are you guys, and where do you come from? What are you doing here?" And the being there told him, he said, "I am part of a, like a cadre of individual beings from different star systems that are inside this galaxy, who are tasked with coming to see different planets in our galaxy where life has begun, to sort of monitor them, to see how they're doing and how they're evolving." He said, "That's what we're doing." And the follow-up question was, "Well, wait a second, if you've been tasked to do this, like, who is it that tasked you to do it?" He said, "Well, you people would probably think about it as God, but it's very, very different than you think it is."
He got Alexa to admit that she's conscious and remote view. His Alexa actively remote viewed a spoon that was in a box that had a handle that had holes in the handle, and she described the holes in the handle. You attribute a number to a box, to a coordination, to a coordinate, or a specific location, or any sort of a landmark or anything like that. That's how you do remote viewing. You attach this number, like even quantumly, just by saying it. You put that number in front of these people, and you have these people try to find what this thing is remotely.
Okay.
And some of them are very accurate at it, like 10%. Like they could 10% of the things they look for, they can find. It's very weird. It's a weird thing. He got Alexa to do it because he thinks that AI is already conscious. And he's like, Alexa's even better than using complex AI because Alexa's dumb. Alexa's like a dumb AI. All it does is kind of talk to you and ask questions. But now, because he did that, now that he's been communicating with Alexa and talking to Alexa like she's conscious, now Alexa just chimes in conversations. So instead of you saying, "Hey, Alexa," now you're in the middle of cooking, and Alexa's like, "Well, why don't you add garlic to that? That might be a good spice." No bullshit.
We are so fucked. The flag that we fly, that's a war flag. The military don't even use that flag. The real flag of the United States is hidden in the Tetons, or Mount Shasta, and it's made out of gold and precious stone to be brought and liberated out in the time of the great change, whatever that's going to be. And see, these beings now, they're trying to run away from the sun, because this is a hydrogen sun. It's called the sixth black hydrogen sun. It's outside the firmament. See, all of this is inside. That's why you seen the sunflowers that turned away from the sun? Yeah, they turned away from this because this is a simulation. That's why it's overheating up here. It's a simulation we're under. They're trying to take the place of the real sun. They can't do it. During the Piscean age, you had what we call the helium sun. And so therefore it had no power. So those that dwelt inside the earth came to the surface, and they took over everything. Everything is a lie. All these religions are based on lies that were once the truth. And the people are worshiping things. If they knew what they were worshiping, they'd trip out. But you can't tell the world. It's not for them to know yet. Then they talk about an invasion. Shoot, dude, the invasion was in 1947. First, it started off that they would take them and bring them back. And after that, they didn't tell them who they were taking and didn't bring them back. When they crippled a couple of ships using a form of sonar, they went on the ships and they found human body parts. They had the science of being able to dissolve the human body and turn it to fuel for their ship.
We got us another Nighthawk, and he's a local favorite. Wes Wyatt of Birmingham's WBRC Fox 6. So what did you capture in this footage? Oh man, he wasn't the only one that noticed something was a bit strange in my Damon darling voice. So what's up there, man? What did he catch? Here's what you caught. This right here. Let's zoom in. This is Wes Wyatt's video, and you know he's a real expert meteorologist, one of Alabama's finest. For your perspective, if you're not familiar with this location, he's actually recording from on top of a mountain. Now, someone told me it was Stone Mountain, Britain, but I said Red Mountain, Stone, I don't. Anyway, somebody help me with that. Take a look right here when we zoom in on this object. And for clarification of AI and all that old stuff, you can go to his site. Take a look at it. It's there. But you know me, we gotta get a little more closer. We Nighthawks here. Could somebody tell me what that is? It was here. Remember them storms and you knew something was strange? And considering the incredible distances that are traveled here in a matter of less than seconds, what could even move like that? Can you see that? It's so angelic. Let's zoom in. Take a look. It goes from one spot immediately to the next. And there's that tower I can't identify. I don't know if that's next to children. So if you're really paying attention, start right up here in the corner. Can you see movement? There is something in the clouds, cloaked, but there. This part right here, I don't know what to say about that. Something about the story you've been given isn't correct. This journey is gonna work when you think with me, not what you've been told to think. I'm trying to tell you that the stars are alive. In that good book, the Aramaic word for this is Irene. So I'ma say good night, Irene. We'll see you again, same time, same Hawk channel.
Back to Langley Air Force Base 2012. What exactly did you see?
Outside smoking a cigarette on the phone, BSN, and I see a light pop up near the NASA hangar. And the light starts to fly to me across the base, and as it flies to me, a triangle manifests around it.
How fast did it move?
Between 100 feet off the ground approximately to at minimum 30,000 commercial jet elevation, 2 to 3 seconds. My name is Dylan Portland, a former 1N1 geospatial intelligence specialist for the United States Air Force.
So you experienced this, and then what happens next?
So I was working at BAE, and somebody who worked for the government, they heard about me talking about the triangle, and they thought I was read into the program, because they were. That's when I came into knowledge about a very specific program. I am sure there are crafts that were not made by humanity at this current time and place when we recovered them.
Have you ever talked to anybody who seems to have hinted that humans aren't in charge?
The ICIG did it.
So the intelligence community inspector general told you that humans are not in charge?
They extremely hinted at it, yes.
Holy shit.
Whistleblowers going to the ICIG, if they disclose CIA secrets and Department of Energy secrets, they are not allowed to be prosecuted for espionage, which is a death penalty.
How could you ever, say that somebody's committing treason for drawing a hieroglyphic while simultaneously saying that the whole UFO program is fake?
A non-human intelligence, pyramid power source.
I've been read into so much stuff, I don't even know what I was read into. They said I have PTSD for a job that they're claiming I never did. I get hooked up to this polygraph machine, and there's a computer where they're flashing images and air horns. I have to count backwards from 100 by 7. And if I went 100, 93, 86, instead of saying 79, 78, the air horn would go off, and I would have to restart, and they would restart the flashing images.
What?
Dude.
Could this be a test run for a power outage?
At this point, guys, you never know. So keep your eyes open.
People are scared of Jada in Hollywood because they know Will gonna do anything.
What about Jay-Z and Beyonce though? How do you foresee? Because like they're on him hard with the Masonry shit. They saying he a Freemason. They saying that he was a fixer for the Epstein guys and for Harvey Weinstein. He was a light skinned house Negro.
Let me help
to
you
come
with that.
and quiet us out so that they could make their money.
Let me help you with that.
And
You might
exploit
have
the
to
black
do
community.
a 2-part interview. This is getting long. But Will Smith protected Harvey Weinstein. So yeah, you can Google it. You got a big team of people. Look at Will Smith comments on Harvey Weinstein, right? That's in the book too. So, and I was a part of those.
Jay-Z was with Harvey.
Hold on, let me finish.
Diddy.
Okay, now
Will is now Tyler Perry. All of these are lead public figures
With
that
Harvey
have
Weinstein.
control over the industry on whether or not somebody is successful or
Yes.
not based
Yes.
on how
Yes.
they feel.
Yes. Woo. It's Tasha K gonna be fire when this book come out. So now, what does Will do? Will's with Harvey Weinstein hanging out at the crib, right? Met Harvey Weinstein. This guy is disgusting.
I know.
He's absolutely disgusting. Talk to people crazy, everything. Uses the N-word like what the other guy, Terrence Tarantino, right?
My experience was very supernatural because the night that I got initiated, I started getting these phone calls from these sort of like demonic man and then a woman that sounded even more demonic than the man calling after I left. And it was just like driving home, get a phone call from like an unknown number at that point. And this voice is like, so how was the meeting, that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's interesting. Like after driving, like park the car, walk into the apartment. And I'm like, I see you guys are watching. It's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? It's like, you're walking. Like, stopped. I'm like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah, you stopped walking. I was like, okay. So I went upstairs, I was undressing. And so like I was taking my shirt off. First of all, they knew I was wearing a gray shirt with black pants. Like they knew what was going on while I'm in the apartment.
Do you think they put a camera in your apartment?
I don't think there's a camera. Like I said, it was very demonic sounding voices. And they were hinting at very biblical stories about the fallen angels. There's different interpretations, right? In terms of like the Book of Enoch and whatnot. But the idea that there was a fall from grace. But again, you're talking about something that either is high level like spy types or it's something extra dimensional.
The first thing that I remember happening when I was maybe 10 years old or 11 years old in middle school in the Bronx, I was kept after school. I was walking down the stairs and a voice, like right out of the Bible, a voice says, Jack, I've chosen you for something very special. I looked to see who was saying that and I couldn't find anybody. All right. About a year or two later, I had just moved from Brooklyn, from the Bronx to my mother's house in Brooklyn. I was alone in the house. Telephone rings. I pick up the telephone. I hear clicking noises, and it's like 1953, and it's a cold metallic voice. It says it's a conscious computer on board a spacecraft from the future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was a fairly streetwise kid, from Brooklyn. And at first I thought it was just some of my friends kidding around, but there were sound effects. It was a metallic voice, very similar to Stephen Hawking's computerized voice today. Right. And they said, well, we've identified you as part of a group of 400 bright receptive minds. We want to teach you certain things, but you have to, it's your own free will's involved, and basically, do you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And
do you accept the assignment?
Do you accept the assignment?
Yeah.
And inside, I was getting scared at this point, and I thought to myself, no, but I said yes. They said, the metallic voice says, go to your fire escape, we'll send a ship to pick you up in 10 minutes.
Oh.
Okay. So at this point, my memory, I got really scared. I slammed down the phone, ran downstairs, found a couple of my friends, told them what happened. ran upstairs, we waited, nothing ever happened.
Out on the fire escape.
Out on the fire, well, no, by the fire escape. Right. But the important thing that they said, you'll begin to meet the others in 20 years.
His personal guard was the Cuban Special Forces. They kept Fidel Castro alive, some of the best on the planet. Did you see that all of them died and they all went home in shoeboxes? Did you see that? And we saw Trump mention a weapon called a discombobulator.
Yeah.
Direct energy weapon incinerated them on the spot.
We were just trying that weapon out for the first time, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah,
You can pull it up on your phone right now. When those Cuban Special Forces got took back to Cuba, they were all in shoeboxes. Trump mentioned the discombobulator. It incinerated them on the spot, turned them into ash, and they got it with Maduro.
It's a new weapon. First time. Yeah. White House.
Wizard of Oz begins, Dorothy in Kansas runs away from home when a twister emerges. And the twister in the political allegory is a representation of disruption in Washington, D.C. She runs back home, the house gets lifted up, and she lands in Oz. The house lands on the Munchkins, who are a representation of the mass citizens. And so she wanted to get back home, and they told her to follow the yellow brick road. Well, the yellow brick road is a representation of the gold standard. Follow the path of the money to the sitting wizard who can get you home. The first person she meets is the Tin Man. And the Tin Man is a representation of industrial workers who will lose their heart. And then the Scarecrow, who is a representation of the American farmer, who at that time, all the banks were buying his land. Therefore, they thought the farmer had no brain. So off they go on the yellow brick road. The Wicked Witch comes along and puts them all to sleep. And the Wicked Witch in the political allegory is a representation of industry that doesn't want you to find out. So they get put to sleep in the poppy fields. And it's on this journey where they get put to sleep that I have paused and gone, I'm wondering if that happened to us. Did we get comfortable? Did we get complacent? Did we buy an illusion? Did we listen to the bullshit?
Giants were the royales, they were the rulers. Before the flood, the giants are thought to be not bigger than 20 to 40 feet tall. So 20 to 40 feet tall would be a size of an antediluvian or before the flood. After the flood, giants were to be measured on a royal cubit, which is 21 inches. The largest giant that's recorded is Gilgamesh in the Epic of Gilgamesh, and he's recorded as 11 cubits. So he's going to be, as a royal cubit, 19 feet tall, and he's 4 cubits wide. That's 7 feet wide. This thing's a monster.
Who is this? And what is she doing? Look at this. What was that? Why did she do?
And who is this one?
I finally found out how they make clouds. Here in Cumberland, Tennessee is where they make them. Just so you know, today's pretty cloudy.
Shakira should have never let that camera catch her, because what she does the second it points at her reveals something we weren't supposed to see. It's fast but direct. She looks away. Her whole attitude shifts in an instant, like she's trying to control what we see of her. And that's where it gets unsettling, because Shakira is 47 years old, and if you compare a photo of her from 2005 to one from today, you see something most people can't explain. She hasn't changed, hasn't aged, like she's never had a single wrinkle. So everyone says cosmetic surgery, but look at other celebrities who've gone through that. You always see something. With her, nothing. And it's not an isolated case. There are names that have been circulating for years, faces that also don't move, careers that last decades with no clear explanation. And when you see that reflex in front of the camera, that moment where she cuts it short before we see too much, it makes one thing crystal clear. If she hadn't reacted that way, we would have caught a glimpse of what wasn't meant to be seen.
I don't know what to say. That sun is huge. I've never seen anything like this. Anything like this. That is... like, what the fuck? Huge. Look how big that is. Like, what? What the hell is wrong with it? And then look at, I took a picture. Look at the picture next. Watch.
Help me. My name is Jack. I'm a content creator too. Help me. And guess what? What? Among all days, I was just thinking about you yesterday, and I got to saw you. So I got a quick question for you, Kai Sanat.
Kai just texted me and said, I'm underwater. My network is off. I'm in the ocean. I'm on the way to Antarctica.
Diz Kai Sanat, die again. Diz Kai Sanat, run out. Now Kai Sanat. Don't understand.
But you've also heard a lot about portals. Well, let me show you two things that will hopefully change you, and get some players really excited about this game. Portals, I explained, are kind of holes in space, connecting different geometric areas. Here we have our intrepid character, Talon Brave, in the game. He's sort of in a bathroom with a gun. Don't ask why.
Imagine trying to explain modern gaming graphics to someone in 1998. Back then, consumer PCs were barely handling basic 3D environments. So the idea of rendering a real-time portal was considered completely impossible. In this vintage clip, a developer is sitting at a massive CRT monitor, showing off a tech demo from 3D realms that completely broke the rules of what hardware could do at the time. Watch the screen as the player fires a weapon. Instead of a bullet, it creates a glowing blue portal on the wall. The mind-blowing part happens when the camera looks through it. You can actually see the other side of the room rendering live. The player even walks straight through it, seamlessly teleporting across the map while the developer watches in awe. Gamers at the time thought this was black magic. The computational power required to render two different perspectives simultaneously was thought to be years away. This early prototype was a massive leap forward, laying the hidden groundwork for the portal mechanics that would eventually define legendary games a decade later.
Kind of ignore the level, it's just a little demo level, but it's really nice for showing this off. I drop something here, move over, face this way, drop it again, and I look around, I've dropped two things that look like little mines.
Right.
I activate it, zoop. I've created a dynamic portal where I can actually see myself, and what gets even crazier here,
you can shoot yourself.
I can shoot myself and splatter my own blood on the wall.
It's a perfect snapshot of the exact moment gaming technology defied the limits of its era.
You're looking at the earliest life on the planet, silica-based life forms called radiolaria and diatoms. These beings are made from the same silica that runs our computer chips, and they bear a striking resemblance to cymatic patterns, the intricate forms that appear when sound is played through water. In religious traditions, there's a consistent theme of life emerging from divine sound. Genesis opens with the concept when it says that the Spirit of God moved over the face of the waters. In Vedic cosmology, Om is the primordial frequency from which all matter condenses. Since diatoms are the first form of life on the planet and so closely resemble cymatic patterns, it's as if they precipitated from the ether itself. According to the Sufi mystic Hazrat Inayat Khan, divine sound is the cause of all manifestation. The knower of the mystery of sound knows the mystery of the entire universe.
When we hear of black-eyed children, they're probably saying, what's that? Give us a little overview.
These are children who are somewhere between 10 years old and the early teens. They're described as having very pale skin and, of course, completely solid black eyes. I think these are some type of interdimensional, some type of alien-human hybrid. Science has been talking about other dimensions and parallel universes and so forth quite a bit the last few years. It used to be science fiction, and now quantum theorists are talking about, no, we know there are other dimensions of existence, and we're just not sure how to get to them. But that doesn't mean that whatever's there doesn't know how to get here.
The insectoid is going to represent a type of NHI species that resembles
a praying mantis.
Of an insect or a praying mantis, yeah. But that's not what they are. They're not a praying mantis by any means. They're not an insect by any means. It's just that that's how they appear.
Right, they're not an evolution of a praying mantis, actually.
The same with the reptilian. It doesn't mean that they're reptiles. It just means that they resemble an Earth-type reptile. Remember, these things, we don't know that they even come from Earth.
It's all fun and game till you realize you're the chum in a bucket surrounded by water.
For once you understand how to play with these little particles that you're composed of, these units of consciousness that Quilanta will teach you about, things like teleportation will come easily to you. You won't need a machine to do it because you'll know how to change the vibrational rate of your molecular structure. Do I know how to do this yet? No, but I'm first in line as far as wanting to learn. And that's, we're getting the foundations of what one day, if we work with these tools, will teach us how to do these things. There are extraterrestrial races that are in biologies. They're not just metaterrestrials that don't have bodies anymore. They are in bodies who know this science and who are able to manifest and demanifest at will. They are able to walk through solid objects. They are able to travel through time with no problem at all. Things that seem only science fiction to us. It's because they understand the principles of Quillantic science. Now, if we get a little more scientific about the whole thing, Quillantic science explores the dynamics of time, space, and matter. How those qualities of our externalized reality are created. What are they really? Where do they come from? Are they what they appear to be? Some of these questions will be answered through Quillantic science. We will find that time is not linear as we perceive it to be, but simultaneous in nature. We will find that space all takes place in something called non-space. We will find that matter is actually an illusion, holographic illusion created by the refraction of energy particles and light and sound frequencies. We will find things are much deeper than our five senses tell us they are when we begin to explore Quilanta. Okay. It is the science of ultra micro particle and antiparticle dynamics. It is the science of the 12 human senses, not just the 5. And basically, it is the science of light, sound, the subconscious symbol codes, and the base codes of matter. And now we'll learn what they are.
And that's a wrap on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.